Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to a very special episode of Real Good Films. I am your host, Will Beeman, the production manager for College TV Fort Wayne, and I am joined by two very special guests this week, Christy and Amanda Hiley. Hilly. I knew I was going to
You were
butcher it.
close.
I even asked before we recorded how to do it, but names aren't my strong suit. But you are both the co-chairs of the Hobnobben Film Festival, which takes place. It will be taking place a week from today while we're filming this interview, not to make you a little more nervous than you already are, but thank you for joining us on this special episode. I'm happy both of you are here.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
So let's get a little of the casualties out of the way, and let's kind of describe what the Hobnobben Film Festival is and what the experience is normally like.
I got this one. So the Hobnobben Film Festival, it really is a celebration of local and international and national film. We have a lot of filmmakers in the area that we like to highlight throughout some of our programming. Really, it's a chance to see films that you wouldn't see anywhere else. So things like short films, both fiction and documentary, as well as feature lengths and some student work as well. I believe we also have some films from some PFW students that are in the festival this year. So at its heart, it really is a film festival, but I'll let Amanda talk about some of the ways that we creatively have adapted that mission and made it our own.
Yeah, so Hobnobben Film Festival, this is our 7th year, which I never thought we would be at 7 years. I can't believe the growth we've had over the past 7 years. So when we inherited the festival 4 years ago, we kind of made some changes from what the original intent was. So we did a huge rebranding this year, where we looked at what Hobnobben means to the festival runners, as well as what we want Hobnobben to mean to the community. So this year, just for everyone who doesn't know, Hobnobben it's a playoff of the word to hobnob, which is to kind of rub elbows with the elite. And we wanted to kind of take that and flip it and make film more accessible to everyone. Because I think within a lot of different art forms, there's this gatekeeping elitist mentality when it comes to who can see a performance, who goes to theater, who goes to see these independent films. And at Hobnobben, we really wanted to dissect that and make sure that the nature of our goal, which is to tell stories through film, is accessible to everyone. So this year, we're really leaning into the idea that you can come to this 4-day festival and see yourself on screen and see stories that you might not see in mainstream media. So we really leaned in, and we've been leaning in every year, but this year we're really doubling down on stories that have we focus on senior stories, we focus on diverse storytelling, we focus on filmmakers who have been traditionally underrepresented in the film industry. We also have a huge LGBTQAI plus group of films that we're very lucky to have in the festival. So all of these ways, we're just trying to make sure that we are representing the stories that we hear through film.
That's awesome. And having this be the 7th year of the film festival, that's not an easy feat. Like, sometimes a film festival can fizzle out after maybe their second go at it. So there's got to be a key importance to what keeps this festival being successful, and I think that might be the fact that everyone in the community can see themselves represented on screen, and that's what I think has helped making this festival be more unique. So what are some of the films that are going to be highlighted at this festival that you would say are like the key films that you'd want to have someone check out?
Oh my gosh, I'm sure that some of our answers are going to be the same and some of them are going to be different, but some of the films that I'm the most excited to see are just one-off films I'm gonna name are, I really enjoyed Pops, which is, I can't remember which day it's screening. Oh my goodness. Pops was really great. It's about a sibling duo that tries to figure out the best way to bury their father, and it's somewhat comedic and also touching. The Letter Room also has Oscar Isaac in it and Ali Shawkat, so that was exciting. Yay, big names. What up? But it was a really interesting film in part because I know that Oscar Isaac has struggled with playing Latinx characters on screen. They always typecast him as, you're ethically ambiguous. Like, you can play Timothée Chalamet's dad. Like, that's no problem at all. And so in this one, he really is able to speak to his heritage and also produce a short film that I thought was really authentic to him. I did just want to list off like two of the bigger name films that we have. But one of my favorite blocks every single year is the one that we schedule on Saturday night. This year, it is just a huge collection of all of our favorite shorts. And I don't mean favorite, I mean like all of these really amazing shorts that are all shot within under 7 minutes are just all in one block together. There's so many differing stories and different concepts that are discussed there, but it's really connected by the fact that they're short films and you can tell a story in like 30 seconds or less. And they do that well.
Yeah, I think one thing I want to point out that makes us different from other film festivals and a unique experience for audiences and filmmakers is that when we receive films and determine which films are going to be showcased in the festival, a lot of festivals will group that based on what category they submitted for awards. At Hobnobben, we do not do that. We take all of our films and try to curate them based on thematic content or some point of similarity between the films. So Christy was talking about a few of our favorite shorts. And that was a film block that was curated by our programming committee, which Christy, myself, our other co-chair, and Krister Watson lead. So that makes us very different, and I love in doing that. We're able to provide an experience that is one of a kind and unique. So you might see these films in other festivals, you might see them in other platforms, but you're never going to see them the way that we've curated them with the group of filmmakers that they're a part of. In terms of some of the films that I'm excited about, oopsies, I'm really excited about, we have our closing night films, which it's two blocks of programming. The first block is a coup d'etat in Myanmar, and it features 2 short films. One is a documentary film, and the other one is a short fiction film that look at the coup that happened in Myanmar. And it takes it from 2 very different perspectives. One is an affair one February, where this couple is having a nice romantic encounter together at a hotel. They're enjoying their day. They come out and you see them walking into what's occurring around them. With Journey of a Bird, the second film that we're showing in that block, it follows a group of teenagers as they're actively trying to protest what is happening. So this film does have real footage of what they were experiencing during the coup and how at risk they were and their families were during that time. So we have that block that is our Sunday afternoon programming, and then our final film of the festival is What Happened to the Wolf, which is a feature-length film from 2 Burmese filmmakers. And we're so excited to have that film in the festival. It follows 2 terminally ill women as they kind of come to terms what this illness means for the rest of their lives and how they want to live out the rest of their lives. After the films, we're excited. We've been working very closely with the Fort Wayne sister cities to help have a post-film discussion that unpacks these 3 films and contextualizes what occurred in each of those films.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have some Burmese representatives at our theater to unpack that. And then Fort Wayne Sister Cities is also helping us get some Burmese food to have for some snacks, since the 2 film blocks, if you want to stay for them all, which I really recommend you do, it's going to take up a significant amount of time. What Happened to the Wolf is a very Middle Eastern style film. I didn't mean Middle Eastern. Eastern film where it's over 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to give them snacks.
Right. And you've alluded to it there, and there's going to be panel discussions throughout the whole weekend too. So what's something that somebody attending the festival can look to take home from these panel discussions?
Honestly, it really is an opportunity to engage in the films and get some different perspectives. So for several of our blocks, we do have panel discussions afterwards, as you just mentioned, and we invite a lot of community leaders and people in Fort Wayne, as well as filmmakers, to participate in those panel discussions to talk about everything ranging from masculine identity to how can we make Fort Wayne a better place by working within these institutionalized structures that can sometimes feel a little oppressive. To conservation about our waters and why it's important to tear down dams. So I've learned a lot just in watching the films, and I think whenever the 4 of us who actually watch all of the films watch them, it's like, where can I find articles about what they're talking about? How do I learn more?
Right.
And so with these panel discussions, you really get a chance to learn more from both the filmmaker and then people in Fort Wayne to bring it to the Fort Wayne community, which I think is really important and really, again, like highlights the fact that this is a unique experience and a very Fort Wayne experience that we're having as well. So that's my favorite part of the festival, honestly, is the panel discussions. We took a lot of work in putting them together and finding the right voices to really amplify throughout these. So it's just a really great opportunity for people to participate in. We will have them online at cinemacenter.org too after the festival if you're not able to make it, or if you purchase a virtual ticket, you can access those via the Cinema Center site, so you can get the full experience.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a lot of the one thing that I really love about our panel discussions is, we have films from across the entire world, and sometimes you don't think that if you're watching a film from Italy, for example, that there can be some real world applications here in Fort Wayne. So I love that our panels are able to kind of break down some walls and see similarities in other people's struggles, or see similarities in what other people are doing to enact change in their communities. So it's fun. The one panel I'm excited about all of them, but one panel that I'm feeling super excited about is the Ain't No Power Like the Power of the People panel that's taking place Sunday, and the film itself, the film block itself, just showcases different ways in which people are trying to enact change in their communities. And so we're bringing together a lot of nonprofits locally to have them talk about what they're doing with their organizations and how they're enacting change within their communities. So we have and I'm not going to name them all, but we have a representative from Blue Jacket who's going to come and talk about the amazing work that they're doing in the community. We also have 2 representatives from Gigi's Playhouse to talk about how they're advocating for people with Down syndrome. And I just love being able to provide that space so that people who love film or people who are interested in film can get to know the community a little bit better as well.
And I know there's at least one for the local filmmaking community, but there are workshops too throughout the weekend, right?
We have 4 workshops and 2 different filmmaker events that we're putting on for the festival. That's actually new. We haven't done filmmaker workshops, or at least in the 4 years that we've been in charge of the festival.
Okay.
We haven't done workshops before. So, if there's any filmmakers on campus or in the area who want to attend these, it's a great opportunity to learn more about the craft. I think I'll let Amanda talk about the Indiana specific one, but I'm really excited because we have Rocky Walls from Hoodox, which is a streaming platform that focuses on Indiana-made films.
Mm-hmm.
He is coming to talk about how to construct a narrative in an unscripted or documentary film. A lot of times in watching films, you'll see a documentary and it's all footage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, did the filmmaker miss the mark on telling the story here, or is it just a 4-hour documentary that is not Ken Burns, but is trying to do that but doesn't have a story to carry it?
Right.
So I'm excited about that one. And then we also have 2 actors that are going to be talking to filmmakers and other actors about how acting is different for a screen versus a stage. So in Fort Wayne, we get a lot of actors that are in our wonderful theater community. We have so much going on here. And it's, oh, I need an actor for my film project. And it's, oh, wait, this works differently. Let's talk about the ways that you might need to adapt your style, or you might need to direct someone in a different way because of that. So those are the ones I'm looking forward to. Amanda, I know you're really super eager for the other one.
I'm really, really excited. For the audiences who don't know, Indiana has been working to pass a bill that would provide tax incentives to filmmakers with the hopes to bring outside talent to shoot and film their projects in Indiana. Since that bill was passed last year, there's been a lot of questions about how you can benefit from that tax incentives break. And so this year, we are lucky to have 2 subject matter experts who were integral in actually getting that bill passed. We may or may not have someone from the government here to talk about it. Yeah, we're going to do a Q&A style, have filmmakers present who are both from Indiana and outside of the area to learn how they can get those benefits. I think that bill is going to be incredibly beneficial to Indiana to really help showcase that we are a huge arts area. I mean, Fort Wayne, we have so much going on, and I think that can sometimes get overlooked on a national scale. But whenever I leave the state, I'm always like, no, Indiana, we have so many opportunities for artists here, and it's amazing given our size as a city. I mean, we get to put on a film festival in Fort Wayne.
So lastly, what's the one thing about the Hobnobben Film Festival that you think is the main takeaway people should have that maybe I haven't touched on in any of my questions?
For me, that main takeaway is, I think it's a lot of what we have been saying, but what I really, excuse me. Sorry. What I would really hope that the average audience could get out of it is just a chance to be surrounded by other people that are film curious and really interested in storytelling and narratives, and to just find your own community and get to learn more, and just to spend 4 days with us at Cinema Center, just trying something different and also something that's inherently familiar, right? So like, storytelling is naturally ingrained in us. We all crave it. We all want that type of content. And it's a great way to push yourself outside of that comfort zone to see some wonderful films. Like, in my 4 years of doing this, I feel like I've grown and become a better person because I've accessed all of these stories and all of this content to where I can understand certain things that are happening in the world a little bit better, like everything that's going on in Iran right now. Like, we get a ton of Iranian films in our film festival. I feel more connected with some of those struggles and what life is actually like there because I've seen these films, you know, and even some more that are Indiana made and locally owned. It's, oh, cool, I know that place. I've been there before. Like, I know that actor. This filmmaker's awesome. You've been submitting films for the past 4 years. Your growth is awesome. This is a great story. So really just that connection is what I would like to see someone take out of the festival.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think one of the things that I encourage people to think about is, I mean, for me, myself, I do not have a traditional film background. I would say that, you know, I didn't do media production in college. I never thought of myself as this film person, but in being involved with Hobnobben, since actually the first Hobnobben, I've really enjoyed looking at these short films. We don't get to access short films very easily. A lot of the streaming platforms, television, etc., they're geared for those longer feature-length films or TV series. And so seeing this type of film and this art form is just something that we really don't have access to, and it's been so great to learn and grow through these stories. And I mean, we have content that really spans the board. We have those hard-hitting film documentaries that will make you maybe cry. I think I only cried twice this year in watching all the films, which is, I know, it was way less than what I have in the past. But, you know, then we also just have those really quirky, fun short films. One of my favorites is F the M Train, which my sister and I actually sponsored. I don't know. You can't curse on this.
Yeah, please don't.
No, so it's F the M Train, and it's just a really just a fun short film that was made in the UK, and it looks at grief and maybe some inappropriate relationships that kind of come from that grief and trauma, but it does it in a fun way. Like, I laughed so hard after that one. So I think that there's something here for everyone, and I encourage people to just come out and have a good weekend with us.
And I think that's the one thing that I would like to add to that. So, like, even if you're like, I don't know what Hobnobben is, I don't know if there's going to be anything here for me, like, we've tried to program it in a way that you should be able to find something. Like, oh, do you spend most of your time watching horror movies or science fiction, or are you like me and you're a rom-com nerd? Like, we have certain blocks that really speak to those interests that you can look through on our website or pick up a program guide at Cinema Center and really see, like, okay, like, this is a genre I feel comfortable with. This feels like something that I could try, especially because our tickets are kind of on the cheap side of things. Like, if you look at what it would cost to go to a big box movie theater, I think it's like something like $13-15 for a ticket. Ours are only $10 for a block, so it's really affordable. It's educational. It'll be a good time.
Well, I think you guys are heading in the direction for mission accomplished for another year. But
heck yeah.
I do want to thank both of you for joining us on this episode. I appreciate you spending the time. And for anybody who's interested, you can still pick up tickets to the Hobnobben Film Festival, which is October 13th through the 16th of 2022. And if you want to make your film-going habits something that matters, support your local nonprofit, the Cinema Center downtown Fort Wayne. I am your host, Will Beeman, and thank you for joining us.
Gosh, I love movies.